it gone off.
That is from the voice of the people. Jeff?
Yes, Ian, today is the 9th day of September 2017, and we see that the vote was taken, was it day before yesterday?
Yes.
By the council. They voted for metered parking with revised contract. Mayor among those in favor. They voted for a revised contract. But we'll see what happens because it's a very controversial matter.
That's right.
And then you have what is happening there with the hurricanes.
Hurricanes
people were warned beforehand.
Hurricanes are a big problem in this country.
They were warned that this was going to be one of the worst hurricane seasons, and it's happening. So we saw hurricane. The H was Harvey. Then we saw Irma, and then there's another Jose coming along, and then K. I forgot.
Somebody would think
so
about the
the terrorists destroyed, leveled out the St. Look, Barbuda was destroyed completely with all their houses, and St. Martin, St. Martin, the airport and all was. There's no communication for St. Martin for a couple of days, and what has happened? There was looting. People were looting with machetes and guns, going in and take television set and fridge and whatnot, and the country doesn't have any food. They don't produce food there. So I think what is happening, though, President Granger and the government, they're looking into humanitarian help, some help for the countries in the Caribbean that suffered from the Irma. But not only this, in our country too, the strong winds sort of hit Linden, at Soosdijk there, at that splash winds too, it was hit. And then we had in the Upper Mazaruni, Jawala, Waramadong, Cameron, Kako, all of them were affected by the strong wind, destroying buildings.
At the point of destroy in Miami, someday, today or tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they said it pounds Cuma, it's millions in Florida evacuating, they're not
Florida,
waiting.
yes.
I know people who've gone and moved out of their house just to escape this thing in Florida, right? Irma punks Cuba and menaces Bahamas. And then also we see that President Granger is talking about the shake-up in the police force.
Yes.
And this is expected because the real serious outcome of this Commission of Inquiry into the death threat against the president has been the implications for the police force. There's a lot of wrongdoing, strange things happening.
The hurricane season is on.
The hurricane season goes on to November. So we can expect a lot more, especially with this month in October. It's very serious, and what is good is that Guyana is offering humanitarian help also to the Venezuelans who are on the borders too. At the hospitals and so on, they can get some help. So that is a new development, and
what's some new latest development you got in the newspaper?
Well, we see EPA instructs ExxonMobil to do more on environmental front.
What are they going to do with that now?
Well, I don't know. They said they instruct, but I don't know if they can really instruct Exxon. Then cash jet pilot laundered US $7.5 million in Guyana, according to the US prosecutors. That guy who had the place at the airport under Jack Dio and Ramata.
We want to touch on a hurricane in Miami, in Florida. Very, very, very important.
It's very serious.
Very serious
because
problem.
they already destroyed a lot of places in Texas, and the dangers with Florida and Georgia and
that's right. Houston.
That's Texas.
My friend.
Well, greetings in the name of the Most High, the Almighty Creator does live. And in fact, last week a lot of people were calling on God.
Why they calling on God now?
Well, look at all the things that
they still big God. They still God harder.
Yeah, Big Harmon, Harvey. There's a mystical family. Remember last week I tell you all that this month, September, going to be a mystical month? It's happening. First of all, we got the Trinity. Harvey is the father, Big Harmon is the mother, and Jose is the son. And then he bring Katio, his twin sister. Yeah, it's serious like that. And then later on in this month, there are more mystical things that's going to be happening around September 23rd. Look for some more mystical things happening. It's judgment time. And what goes around does come around. On Tuesday, this new advocacy group called SMART, that is the Society for Marijuana Advocates for Reform and Treatment, they met with the Member of Parliament, Michael Carrington,
Yeah.
and they gave him a set of proposals to make this whole thing about decriminalization of marijuana a reality. That's going to be a good thing, you know? Yeah. And the other thing is that, man, democracy in Guyana is under threat, you know. Here why I say
Why
that,
you say
man?
that?
Man, there's not enough being done still for constitutional reform. We're supposed to depend on this every day. Constitutional reform. 2020 will come, nothing will happen, and we're going to go back to the same old.
Okay.
And
So
it
what
shouldn't
happened to chairman, GCOM chairman?
Yeah.
The third list gone.
Yeah.
Huh?
Brother Granger will have to resort to making a selection on his own. He doesn't want to do it, but he'll be forced to do it because that's what Bar Jack they want him to do, so he can put lash on him. I think Brother Granger should just go ahead and choose who he got to choose, man. Because he's got that executive power to do that. Anyway, a lot of people might not think it's the wise thing, but 3 strikes, you're out. Great. Jagdeo done submit 3 lists, and them this ain't ready yet. Okay. So anyway.
Okay, waiting for the commissioner of police now.
The commissioner of police.
Yes.
Silal goes, Ramnaran comes in, and then there's a whole big shake-up.
How in the Silal go?
Silal?
Yeah.
So right now he's on pre-retirement leave already, but he's living under a cloud.
Okay.
And the thing is, Ramnaran is no better still, but is the better of 2 evils. Because, yeah. Come on, man. Ramnaran ain't no saint either, but he's a better saint.
Nobody.
I mean, you understand what I mean?
He's a better devil.
A better devil. Anyway, here. Integrity Commission is set up yet. The local government commission is set up yet. A lot of commissions still to be set up.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that our democracy is still like fragile. Now, we still have a crisis of leadership in this country, you know, and a crisis of competence, the capacity to make things happen. Leadership. Brother Granger's got to watch his advisors. They're making you look bad right now.
When you say you're looking bad, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Is trying to sabotage this government.
What?
By working from deep within. There's a mole or several moles deep within this government.
Yes.
And they're working against Mr. Granger and his party. You see, Bar Jagdeo still have a lot of loyal servants in government, you know. Because people's meet me on the road, say, man, Leon, shut your mouth, man. In Jagdeo time, I get car, I get house, I get land, I get money. You understand me?
Yes.
And in Granger time, we getting nothing. That's the problem. Mr. Granger has not been giving his supporters much for what they have done for him and this New AFC government. Everybody feeling as if they get cockadooed, you know, like cocooled. Like if you get boards, scam, SALs. Anyway, because this oil thing, too much depends on the oil coming, and we're not focused more on what's happening right now. And personally, I don't find that there's a plan for energy in this country. And this management of our economy is in jeopardy. The management of this economy is in jeopardy. We're waiting on oil money to make things look better, and brother, it ain't coming for just now. The other thing is that our bureaucracy, government bureaucracy, is over-bloated. It's bloated. Too many people in the system, and not enough being done for the amount of money you're paying to keep them in the system. Okay. We have the largest government since we call it self.
So we have too many dunces. Right?
Too many dunces since self-government. This is the largest government bureaucracy, and there's a bureaucracy of incompetence. Okay. Not enough being done for the money being spent. Look. The budget was so much for this year, and brother, is a fraction of the budget being spent because there's a lot of sabotage. People are not spending the money that's been budgeted.
What sabotage, you know?
70%.
Man, in the local government arena, look. Look at it.
Yes.
The PPP does not want its NDC chairman councils to cooperate with central and local government. And when you read through, look at this other thing. Only 8% of NDC subventions spent for 2017, and we are already in September. So deep within the system,
they don't want to make it.
They're not making the money flow. And because
what
people complaining.
Why you about the meter now? Meter. The meter. Parking meter.
Man, the parking meter, that thing should have been scrapped. I'm really alarmed that those 30 people voted for its continuation. But here what's going to happen. That renegotiating team will have to be tough like nails because that parking meter contract that is there right now, absolute mess. We got to have a brand new contract, and the persons who got to renegotiate that contract, they better have good legal knowledge.
But the matters before the court now too.
That's right, and they better have good morality.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, Sapphire going through a great upgrade. In fact, Sapphire is a success story.
How you know that?
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, people from A field and B field have got to go to one of the schools there to discuss what they need to make Sapphire a much better place. Yeah, there's an IDB loan that come through that gonna make a money spending Sapphire. I hope they don't corrupt the money and they really spend the money.
They're not no corruption.
And what we also seeing that this Ormo, Big Ormo and Harvey and D tells us in Guyana.
Who you talking about, Harman, or who you talking about, Harman?
Big Ormo, Big Ormo.
Oh, yes, yeah.
The hurricane.
Here, we've got to look at whether we are prepared for disaster.
Yes.
Our CDC has got to put itself in shape, because we can't wait until something happens and then we trying to and building codes. We've got to look at all building codes in this country. A lot of houses collapsing and killing people because contractors are short-circuiting the run-ins.
Well, more people going to die because of hurricane.
No. We hear this. Guyana is a blessed country. Yeah. We below sea level.
But the wind still.
We below sea level, and yet still, because the Almighty watches over Guyana. And hear this: we are a special country, and Guyana will prove to be the boon in the future for CARICOM and even for the world in terms of what we can do for them in food and hopefully leadership.
Our main topic is a hurricane and the agenda today, right?
But I think the oil exploration is affecting the balance.
Yes.
Oil?
No. What I'm saying, when they go in and they disturb the equilibrium, we're going to experience earthquakes and so on later. What's going to happen?
First of all, here what happened with oil. You see, Exxon got more than they bargained for. You know, all those lots out there gone to Exxon, and the only way we can get something for ourselves if we increase our economic zone out there.
Which lot you talking about?
Man, Exxon get about 60
in the
blocks
Atlantic
to explore, and they were supposed to get 60. They get 600.
What?
That is why the call is being made. We want to see this fresh contract from 2016 that Donald, what's his name, Trotman, Raphael Trotman signed in 2016. That contract got teeth in it. And right now we want to see everything skin up. Because here why? It's wheating. It's not dating. And my children, my grandchildren, even me, have got to get some sweet from that oil, because we hear the oil is a sweet crude oil.
Okay.
But there's more to the oil than meets the eye.
Okay, Rahman.
Hold
on. Rahman, what do you have to say?
I want to just touch on one other thing. Then I've got a number of other things.
Make up an hour about that. You make your point. You're so little too long.
The GT&T.
Yes.
You know there was a public hearing on
Yes.
And the consensus was that the majority of people in this country have not got good service from GT&T.
That's true.
Remember GT&T, you wouldn't have...
My phone cannot work. My number. 6 weeks of my line on not working. 6 weeks.
I happened to have the opportunity of giving evidence at the hearing, the public hearing.
Yes. What evidence you give?
The evidence that I gave was based on what they told us, GT&T.
What they told you?
They told us that they had, first of all, they said they had 19,000 people who had applied for...
Phone line.
Landline,
yes.
Landline telephone.
Yeah.
I applied about 10 years ago, and they were telling me, and I said that to them, they were telling me that the technology that they're using was outdated. What GT&T, and I said it publicly, it's recorded, GT&T has been deceiving this country.
How you know that?
How I know that?
Yeah.
Because this is an example. That you suffered, you're paying for services that you do not receive.
That's right. That's the one point.
Your business suffer. A man who came from America.
But who should blame? Who should blame? Who should be blamed? Who should blame?
The last government.
Yes.
For not getting, they had a sick man who was the chairman.
When is it man sick? What do you mean?
Public Utility Commission. That was Mr. Prasad. Mr. Prasad.
Prem Prasad. Okay.
The man was sick.
Yes.
And rather than removing active people, they kept him there. So you could not get proper service. Now you have a vibrant commissioners there.
Who is he?
Who's headed by a chairperson. I can't remember her name. And the other 3 people there
Britain.
are white, yes. I attend this, I can tell you. They ask all the relevant questions. and they allowed us to say what we had to say within reason. And what came out of it, that they are going to make them
do more.
Not do more, but do what they promised that they were going to do to the consumers of this country. Remember,
they promised to do more.
This is a foreign company. And I'm very surprised. I saw Cathy Hughes, the Minister of Telecommunications. You know why, you see, people tend to blame Mr. Granger. Mr. Granger has given these ministers, especially the AFC ones, a long range to do work.
Yes.
But they're not doing the work. It comes back to the point that he was making. Cathy Hughes was a special ministry that was created, telecommunication. He took her away from the tourism. And I saw her in a press conference where the CEO for JT&T, Mr. Ned, she was acting as if she was a PRO, public relations officer for JT&T, rather than giving
that has been her substantive role before she became a minister of government.
Why you want to give them licks?
She was appointed.
Why you want to give them licks?
Because of all the atrocities that they have committed against. Let me say this, Mr. Sharma. Look, for the ordinary person who doesn't have a telephone, but for a business person, a person who runs a business, if you're going to invite investors into this country, in a modern age, in the 21st century, you have to have perfect telecommunication system. Not only landline system, but internet system.
Yes.
And you ask anybody, you do a survey in this country. One of the things I asked the Commission to do is to do a survey of customer satisfaction, and you will see how many people, including yourself, who are highly dissatisfied with the service of GT&T. You know what they're trying to do? They're further...
You want to increase the fee.
Yes. A simple call you want to make and you can't get through. The lines are down, nobody knows what's happening. It's a similar situation happened in
and you have to pay for a receiver.
And you pay for a receiver.
You never used to pay before.
Good.
But an important thing with phones came over when Norman McLean was at a meeting the other day. He said in 9/11, which we've been talking, 9/11 hadn't been working for donkey years. Why is it we can't get, so when we call 9/11 get a response?
Sharma, people are impatient with this government.
So they're out of patience now.
Yes. But
it's about time.
But
time to step up and deliver.
But the structures, as Leon explained, is not functioning because you have a lot of incompetent people.
Right.
How would you attend? How would you feel if you were the Minister of Finance and you are coming to speak at a conference of your permanent secretaries in all the ministries, and you're supposed to start your speech at 9 o'clock, and they walk in after 9 o'clock, 9:30.
They have no respect for the minister. And
that
the
is the level of incompetence. I have been saying
it couldn't have been Burnham's time. Couldn't have been Burnham's time.
Burnham would not do just get rid of them.
Get to Hope Estate and then clean the trench.
Chedi too, I got a video where Chedi said, tell me who they are. And we will deal with them condignly. Chedi said that.
Yes, I recall about
So we need to start something like that now.
Burnham and Dragon did not tolerate incompetence.
So you tell me Granger tolerated?
He's tolerated.
No, long is just what that man. Yes.
That's a fair question.
Yes.
And I must answer him.
Yes.
Because not that I want to defend him.
Yes.
I think that he's acting slowly but surely. He's acting slowly but surely.
Snail-like.
This is a coalition government. Understand
It's a party coalition.
He has to maneuver a situation where he has to keep things in check.
So
but he's acting.
But you have Minister Scott.
He has to act on Keith Scott talking nonsense.
Hold on. Hold on. Let them finish. You come finish. You finish. You got to say. Finish what you got to say.
So.
Finish what you got to say.
The issue about the telephone thing.
Yes.
I think that for the first time in the history of this country, you are going to get better service.
Okay.
And
with deregulation and allowing digital to be.
This government brought in the new law of telecommunications.
They got to allow digital to become competitive with GT.
Yes, so that will introduce, Mr. Sharma, competition.
Okay.
And once you introduce competition, what will happen is that you get low prices and you
better
get better
service.
service.
Okay.
Competition in both areas, landlines.
Okay.
Everything.
And more employment.
They touch on Minister Scott. It's just saying, women,
Mr. Scott
yeah.
is an incompetent person. He's my friend.
Yeah.
But he's totally.
He's not impotent.
No,
Are incompetent?
But
he's incompetent.
But he's part of the coalition.
If
His
he's
party.
impotent,
Yeah.
I can't know that.
How you can't know that?
His party is part of the coalition.
If he's impotent, I can't know that, but I know he's incompetent.
Okay, all
It's
right.
a different thing. Look,
Yeah. No, it's the same thing.
I spoke to him.
It's the same thing. Impotent and incompetent, the same thing.
The credit union are complaining.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
All those people are complaining.
I spoke to him about the Bellevue Co-op,
Yeah.
where you have 700 acres that are being held up there.
Yeah.
And nobody, none of the farmers can function.
Yeah.
You know what he told me? He ordered the chief co-op officer to do an investigation. Mr. Sharma, a comprehensive investigation was done by Mr. Cummins, and there's a thick report that Mr. Scott has not seen.
When you say you seen what he mean?
Well, if he's ordering his...
Is that something wrong with his eyes?
Yeah.
No, I'm just illustrating.
Say therefore he
I'm
impotent,
illustrating
incompetent.
an important point to show you how incompetent he is. He ordered the chief co-op officer.
Yes.
We went to see her.
Yes.
We had a meeting with her.
And not goodness mine, please.
And she
Yes.
said she did not know that there was an inquiry that was carried out and a report was done. She does not know that, and she has not read it.
How do you know all these things then?
We went and saw her.
Okay.
She revealed it. She said I was taping her. Yes, I was taping her
Okay.
because I found her to be totally incompetent, as Mrs. Scott. So I couldn't rely on her veracity in terms of doing things or saying things.
How you know this man incompetent? How you know that?
Because I just proved to you.
What proof you know? Give no proof. You know proof not to me until now.
I just said to you that he didn't know that there was an inquiry that was carried out in 2012 on the Bellevue Court.
Yes.
His officer that he commissioned to carry out another research.
Who's the officer?
The chief co-op officer,
Oh yeah.
Ms. Gift, does not know also, or else she would have advised him that, Mr. Scott, we don't need to carry out a research or an investigation because one has already
They don't
been
keep
done.
records.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that is what
Okay.
that is
What
the
do you want me to
with a
cut?
set of incompetent
Okay,
people, and
okay.
Scott is one of them. Nobel Holder is another one.
Okay. Why do you mean stand? But I want to send all these women. What do you think about
But
that?
he's the same man who does that. You don't, look. He
The
should
midnight
never be-
shift.
I told
Night
you,
shift, yes.
Mr. Granger found
Graveyard
himself in a
shift.
difficult situation because of this coalition and partnership business. Keith Scott does not have a group. He had a group. Now he does not have a group.
He's a one-man party
one of
then.
the
One man party. It's a one man party.
One of the things,
One-man
Yeah.
band.
the way to resolve these
Yes.
Like
these
even-
little parties and individuals is let them go to the polls and test their veracity.
That's right.
Let people go, see how much votes they will
Yeah,
get.
we
We want some
That is the future.
constituency,
That is
constituency
the future.
polling.
AFC will go to the polls.
That's why we have to change the laws.
Yes.
To allow people to
APNU will
collate
go to the
That will
polls.
after.
Oh, God, let me hear you say.
Justice for All will
Yeah,
go to the
yes,
polls
yeah.
individually.
Yes.
Healing the Nation Theocracy Party will go to the
I know
polls.
you will get
I have a
two-
party.
You'll get 2 seats.
Yeah, because I have a demographic.
How you know you'll get to
You will
see?
get 4 seats, probably 5 seats.
And then get on.
No, you will in the future.
Yeah.
So you think our party could get 2 seats?
Yes. So Scott in that.
Who predict that?
I am predicting that.
You?
Yes.
Here what we need to be focused on.
Yeah.
Raising people's salary. Those same security workers, they are paid low rates. They need to raise the rates of pay. It's not about not allowing people to work at night or day. Equal rights and justice for all. We got to change the labor environment. Listen to me. Labor laws have got to be reformed. The labor environment has got to be improved. And people got to earning more money.
He's right what he said.
But when you do that,
If a man was competent, then he would do exactly what you said.
the company's going to
He would
charge
have had a
more.
dialogue with the leaders of the trade union congress.
Right.
And
Right.
the trade union congress is not unnecessarily antagonistic towards its government.
But they become toothless
It is
as a
people-
poodle.
No, but it's people like him who has caused that to happen.
No,
That
no, no,
Mr.
no. I don't
Lewis-
accept that.
Yeah.
Trade unions have got to remain militant and activist.
Yes,
Too many of the leaders of trade unions have compromised themselves.
I agree with
They
you.
are soup drinkers.
Let me hold the fire. Let me take some calls. Only one line we have. Only one line we will have and say. 3 months now, I have to get 2 lines. I can't get 2 lines until now. What do you think about this problem?
Well, I just said that to you.
Yeah.
Mr. Ned, who is the CEO for the GTNT, is not interested in giving.
But why are you not interested? Why are you not interested? Because of what?
It's not cost effective for them.
But listen to this press
because
release.
They do not want to invest in landlines.
Let this press release.
The press release by the Ghana Public Service Co-op Credit Union Limited. Right? They were complaining about what Keith Scott said. And the penultimate paragraph said, given the circumstances of the minister's press release dated July the 24th, 2016, the GPSCCU is of the view that the minister should immediately issue to the Committee of Management of the GPSCCU and the predecessor of the minister an unqualified apology for the imputations in the press statement of wrongdoings, fraud, and corruption, which were carefully calculated to injure the characters of members of the Committee of Management and the predecessor of the sitting minister. Then the last, he said, if this is not forthcoming, then the GPSCCU would have no other recourse but to seek legal remedies through the courts of law.
Mr. Sharma, this is exactly the same thing happened at Bellevue Co-op. I raised this matter with Minister Sharma. He's well aware. I gave him all the documents, a pile of documents. Mr. Scott has not read the documents. Mr. Sharma, who's not the responsible minister, has read the documents. And he's shocked to see what he saw. Because exactly what Mr. Sankis is just saying about the co-op here in Bellevue, that the management committee of the co-op was the one that violated the constitution and the co-op laws of this country. The co-op laws, they blatantly violated it. It's a very simple thing. Mr. Scott hasn't got the capacity to understand this because he doesn't read these things. He doesn't have the time to do it. This is the kind of incompetent minister that we've got. But that will change.
When?
That will change next election. Because we're not
Why can't there be a change now?
Well, we can force a change.
How we want to force it?
The AFC can stand up and they're just lame duck.
AFC, they're up on one leg right now.
The AFC just collecting money and fattening themselves. So, Mr. Prime Minister, he spent $72 million to renovate.
No, it's not about that.
But one last issue before we call in. What about the Procurement Commission? I see there was a dissenting voice by the guy who's coming from UG. He had a different view from what the others were saying.
Let me take some calls, and let me listen to the member of the public, please. Call you in here. We only have one line on here. Call you in here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
On Monday, school open.
Yes.
And what I observed, that some children don't know which school they have to go yet. And we don't have water to bathe the school children in Perfect Harmony.
Perfect Harmony?
Yeah.
Please make a note of that. Perfect Harmony.
The government building school right now, they're repairing some schools.
What part of Harmony?
What's really going on? It's 30 years now. This
Make a note. I'm going to visit Perfect Harmony tomorrow.
No water?
Monday.
No water?
In Perfect Harmony.
Let's call her, listen to me. We're going to visit Perfect Harmony Monday morning.
And it's 30 years they're messing up Guyana now.
No water to bathe the children?
They don't Perfect Harmony, there's no water.
Make a note right.
Sharma,
please make
because we can get free water and free electricity. The poor pensioner, even them can't get the money. What a shame. This government is a disgrace.
I'll be there too.
No, but this has been going on for years.
Years. In PPP government, we had better electricity.
I'm going to be there.
You're going to another point.
All the hospitals. People going crazy in the hospital. Nothing good to do for the 2 years. What is what we vote for you for?
Carla, I'll be there Monday around 10 o'clock, right? Thank you very much.
Perfect Harmony.
Yeah, Perfect Harmony.
Mr. Sharma, we don't have to go there. We have access to the GWI.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph is doing an excellent job.
How you know that?
That's for water.
The water. I went with him to High Park, and we went and people there. The lady's talking. She doesn't know what she's talking about. What is happening is that we are dealing with a mess that was created by the
PPP.
Those people lived there for 12 years and never got water in that
Yeah,
area.
yeah. Dr. Charles is trying his
Parika
best.
back
Van
down.
West Charles.
Yeah.
I just told I called Mr. Joseph this morning when I was coming.
Yes.
Parika back down, a vibrant person. It was this government that actually made the road and gave them lights. And they didn't have water. They don't have water for 40 years. 40 years, and all of them in the Parika back dam voted PPP.
That's right. I agree with you. I agree with you.
So we are going to get to water. I just spoke to Mrs.
Yeah, call you in here.
Good day, Mr. Sharma. How are you?
Yeah, good day. Thanks.
I heard you guys speaking about Hurricane Orman, Hurricane...
Not Hurricane Harman. Yeah.
Hurricane who? What about Hurricane Granger that is destroying this country?
No, Hurricane is not destroying, not that hurricane.
Yes, there is a hurricane named Granger.
What will Hurricane Jagdio?
What about Jagdio?
Yeah, well, he did what he did before, but now everybody votes for a change and expect a change.
No, you can't get in. No, you can't get in so fast, man.
You got to
What?
get a revolution to get
2 years is not too young for a
Oh,
government?
no. You got to be 5 years.
No. They wouldn't make 5 years.
Oh, man.
They would be
What?
out like south.
No, they can't get out. They can't come out from there for just now. Next 10 years.
They are going to be out, trust me.
Okay, they can't.
No, they won't be out. A different coalition that will involve them. A bigger coalition will be there.
The old PNC, the old dog.
Yeah.
As we call them old dog.
Yes.
You can't stop the old dog from sucking egg. You could ask Mr. Weevy on your right.
Jagdio learn from them, though.
He knows everything.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, good, right.
Yes.
23 years of the PPP.
23
You
years.
saw there before the program started how they destroyed the workers in Wales. They completely destroyed the sugar industry.
Sugar industry, yes.
After 23 years, the sugar workers are still carrying cane on their head.
They're worse off now.
That's an enslavement.
Gawu did nothing for them. Gawu
Look at that
sunk
when you
them.
compare. If there was so much concern in PPP, look at where they live, and look where the sugar workers live.
Right. They have been
But look at
exploited by
the
Gawu.
British sugar workers.
That alone
I'm going to show you how the British sugar workers.
Yeah, let's show it again.
I'm going to show you some of the footage. Call please to pick up your tape.
But the hurricanes carry the Christian name. not
Call
the
you
surname.
in. Hello?
So you got to say Hurricane Barat.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Manipani.
Yes.
Wonderful program. Glad to see Mr. Rahman back. Make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But Rastaman, good man. The problem with Rastaman is that he still wants the evil to run the police force. Get rid of the evil. We don't need no evil. We don't need Satan there, buddy. They ain't got no best of the two evil. Get a new commissioner. Get somebody better.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing about this better of the two evil. You can't take out Satan and put in Satan, buddy.
Okay.
You need to get somebody neutral, somebody.
Yeah.
They got a lot of competent people. Find them from the army, find them from somewhere, man.
Okay.
Bring them from England, Scotland Yard, wherever you want. But you can't. We cannot demand the respect in the police force if you continue in the trend that it's happening.
Yes.
Granger was right. The president was right.
Yes.
It shows a lot of flaws. It shows a lot of incompetence.
Okay.
And you to say impotent, no? So it shows all of that in that commission of inquiry, right? Plenty.
Yes.
And we can't go back 23 years. If we go back 23 years, the PPP, we reminded me one here, but when my grandfather used to walk on Brick Road, PNC rule for 23 years and the Bonham, PPP rule for 23 years and the Jack D when he buy. This, we got a new thing here now. We vote for change. We vote for things to run good. And we need to see some change. Now everybody full in the pocket again. Rahman said the right thing. Got to use was the PR for the GT&T. Look, they tell me we're Blaze Internet.
Hot fire.
1 month now I don't pay $40-something thousand for Blaze Internet. They tell me within a week I get Blaze Internet. I still waiting 1 month. Right now the ordinary internet I got off right now.
Okay.
GT&T need to pull themselves up and pull themselves out because they need to liberalize the thing, man.
Thank you very much.
Competition, that's what we need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch what Granger did, what Bar Jack did to sugar workers. Watch, look at piece of what Jack did to sugar workers.
That's Hurricane Barat.
Hurricane Barrett. Hurricane Barrett. Look at, bring out the army on me.
Right here.
Yes, watch here. Look, see that for yourself. See is believing. Seeing is believing.
But some of these people don't see, you know.
No, see, they're blind.
And the deaf too.
Yeah. This serves as a good reminder.
Many times, there's a lot of semi-illiterate.
Illiterate.
That was educated by Jagdev himself. Yeah. He's still educated, going to the Bahamas meeting.
That's his legacy.
Making racist talks and so on.
That's his legacy.
This is Guyana. You need to unite the people.
Okay, let me go to some more calls on here, please. Call in, you're on here. Look at what they did to show work.
What? Is that why y'all showing video with way back in the past? All y'all living.
Man, you don't talk, you're out of context.
Unless you understand your history, how are you going to deal with
Yes.
the present?
Exactly, that's miseducated.
Yeah,
they don't know history.
Illiterate said people.
Even when they see it, I'm telling you.
See is believing.
Want to believe
Right. It's just like,
watch.
How can you forget the Jews won't forget the Holocaust?
There are a section of Indians in this country.
Call in here, hello?
Brainwashed.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Talk something with sense, please. Even talk with sense, I'll cut you off.
Right?
Yes.
Here. Some of them don't really understand what's going on in this country, you know, in terms of look at the crime and the killing we have.
Okay.
We get a change.
Yeah.
We get better police force. We get better.
But that's amazing, Mr. Look what the problem is. They're going to be the sugar workers. Look that.
And the police.
And the police, right? Police stand up right there. Right there, the police was right there. The army was right there.
The police wasn't defending the people, you know. They set the police on to the people. The political apparatchiks at the time set the police on to those people to beat them up. And you, who was
Just like
I was leading, yes.
Who was giving them inspiration and leadership. This happened for those PPP people. This happened under the guise of Mr.
Jagdev, that's
and
right.
the leaders of the workers' union who said that they were defending the workers, the sugar workers. There is another video I saw where the workers were complaining about the GAU. They were collecting their money and they were not giving them service.
Call you in here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I want y'all to listen to me and listen to me clear.
Yes.
This government, y'all are talking about 23 years of mess and all of that. Do we all know that we have to now correct 25 years because we got a lot of mess in these 2 years? I'll be honest. Look what Mr. Scott doing.
What?
Look what Mr. Scott did.
What Scott did nothing? The Scott did not do nothing.
A lot of mess more to be cleaned up. They create mess now for 25
Okay,
years.
how you want us to go about this?
Look, I'll be honest, It's the people suffering. Look at the blackouts. Look at this and every problem we got in this country.
You want sufferation? Go to St. Martin's, go to the Caribbean right now, see what Ormo doing for sufferation.
Mr.
Suffering. No, seriously, put suffering in context.
You can't compare that with this. What kind of reasoning you doing, man?
After God.
Oh, man, y'all get really
No, we live right now in a paradise compared
much.
to how some other people living in the world still.
We were trying to give an objective view of what's going on. Why did you think that we criticize Scott, who's a minister, and we criticize the government ministers who are not
functioning?
What more could we say about that?
So you criticize the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, what does he do? Look,
why do that?
Look, when you compare
he sips a good glass of wine.
What Mr. Hines, look, you have to be fair.
Sam Hines?
Sam Hines.
Yes.
Used to do more?
Mr. Sam Hines did more and he was approachable. He made himself
definitely. Yeah,
that's right. That's true.
Even that PR.
That was exactly true. What you said is true. Yes.
Well,
if I were Prime Minister, look, I would have a surgery. I would have an open house every single week from this time to that time, and anybody can visit me. And if you want, if frightened anybody will kill you, you have 10 policemen with guns and so, right?
Yes.
If that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah.
But make yourself
available
to
the people.
Available to the people.
Yes.
And for the
call, you are near. Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma, to you and your panel.
Yes.
I have a little problem with GT&T. I don't know if you could really look into it for me.
What is the problem?
I applied for my phone line. I get it, right? Now, when the technician come at your house, they tell you have to buy the phone.
That is it now.
Yes.
Receiver, yes.
Receiver, that's right.
In the old days, you used to exchange it for free.
Okay, well, there's no problem if I buy the phone, right?
Okay.
But still, I got to pay $500 a month for the same phone that I buy.
Exactly.
How you can collect rental for it now?
Exactly.
They can't.
Rahama just talk about that.
You can't rent and buy at the same time.
But if you take your phone bill, you got to pay $500 for rental, and then when you call, you got to pay too.
But that's Rahama.
Let me explain what he needs to do.
Yes.
That didn't happen in the past. He has to let him go to the Public Utilities
Commission
office in New Market Street, and he'd have a form there.
Which street is that?
That is New Market Street.
Waterloo?
The same road when you go to Bodum, Crooked Ground, you go right down.
That's not New Market.
New Garden.
New Garden Street, right.
Queenstown.
They have a good system there, Mr. Sharma. The public should know that. If you got any problems with any utility, whether it be water, light, telecommunications,
You could make
go
complaints.
there.
New Garden Street,
New
Queenstown.
Garden Street, and they fill out your form, you give them your details, and they take on your case. They take on the case.
Yes.
So that's the first time. So
Yeah.
when people say that things are not changing, things are changing.
Things have changed. Go to Sophia.
Things have changed. And
Go to
things-
Sophia, you'll
things
see
are
change.
changing. Because now we are making the bureaucrats that you talk about, Leon, we're making them do their work. They're not coming to work. They have to do work. And the people can now, what the government needs to set up some, what you call, a place where people can come and make complaints. And those complaints, they started out that thing, and they stopped. Remember they had that open thing at Coffee Square there, where all the ministers were there, and people come and they make complaints, and then you deal with those complaints. That process needs to continue.
Yeah.
That process, because people are making complaints, nothing's happening.
Call in here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I have a problem with TCNT.
Yes.
TCNT has a internet system, right? They say
Yeah.
it's a billing system, but you're not receiving a bill for it. If a month you reach a hardship, right? And you can't pay for this internet. GTNT cutting it off, but still billing you, and you still have to pay.
Yeah.
Pay, and you use the internet for the month because GTNT cut it off. Mr. Sharma, GTNT really terrible in this country, and government needs to do something about GTNT. How could you still bill me for something that I am not using?
Okay.
Yes.
Understand GTNT, Mr. Sharma, remember when I was a little girl, I went going to the customer care got enough attitude. You understand when you're going to the office,
Yes.
you got enough attitude when you need to talk for your rights.
Yeah.
We pay GTNT, we pay them. I remember when I was a little girl, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I used to get $50 on my phone and couldn't make a call with my GTNT phone until the PM. GTNT, you haven't got use. And government needs to look into GTNT. How could you bill me for something that I'm not using and you cut it off?
Call it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's like
He worked
extortion.
up there.
No. Who responsible for this GNT? Who responsible? Who responsible?
The PPP government.
You mean who's supposed to
Man did that.
who's supposed to monitor
Yes,
The
yes.
PUC.
the Public
Utilities
Yes.
Commission.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, I am confident of
Yes.
this, that after that hearing on Thursday,
Yes.
they got such level of
Yeah.
licks that they were now taking it personal. I had to say to them, I said, gentlemen, the two of you, the black men, right? The two of you are victims.
Of a
And
system.
you're defending something that is indefensible. You're not a shareholder, you're not the owner, right? And you don't have no control over what they direct.
But they're highly
Mr.
paid
Sharma,
employees
Look, this GTNT is a subsidiary
of
of
ATN.
the American company.
ATN.
ATN. So what they're doing to Guyana, what they have done to Guyanese,
Gouge us.
right, is atrocious.
Okay.
And we need to, this government, this government is taking steps now. Because you know who sits on that commission?
Yeah.
Mr. Bisesar, Rajendra Bisesar. I saw him performing there.
He's the AFC man.
Yes.
Yes.
He's the only AFC man that I
Yeah.
can say is a competent fellow who wants changes in this country, the kind of change that the people are talking
Yeah.
about. So not all the AFC people. Them who are ministers are not doing their job. They're just blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Because some of them in the APNU too. But we
That
have
is man.
to-
What the man said? Who is it? Who is the person you're saying just now?
Who?
What is it?
Mr.
And
Bisesar.
This is.
He used to be in our
No,
program.
what I
He used to be in our
We said
program.
Bajag chase him? Chase him?
Yeah.
But he wanted
Yes,
to
hold on.
He was advisor to Jagdeo.
Yeah.
Jagdeo didn't want to take his advice because...
And Jagdeo threw me out of the place.
Yes.
and then he
And that...
Hold on, yes.
He did not pay him too.
Yeah.
Jagdeo didn't pay the man.
Yes.
Till now,
He's
still did.
up another man has not...
We paid, yeah, okay.
You-
And Jagdeo threw me out of the
Throw him
place.
out, yeah. The reason-
You know, he threw you out.
Yes.
Okay, I heard about that.
Yes. That's an injustice.
Yeah.
that-
he was on our program too.
Yes.
And he wanted to run for
But the
it.
reasons why the man, even the AFC are treating him badly. Because if he was minister in any portfolio,
Yes.
it was far better. But this is the problem that we have. What we need to change, the people need to change this,
Well, there's why there's no room for third party.
Call you near. Hello?
There's room for
Hey.
third party.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma, to you and your panel.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I got something for tell you, man. I don't know how this happened. I got an experience with GRA, right? Recently. I got a motorbike that was laid up for over a year. And I get it fixed up and thing. And when I go in there for get the license for the ride the motorbike now, the people in charge me for the year why I ain't use it for.
Jerry don't need their job.
Yeah, they are charging me for the year why I ain't use it for, and plus I got
They're
paid for
doing
this
their
year.
job. They're doing their job.
That is it. If your motor's laid up for a year,
Yes,
Gotta
yes.
go and
and
inform
you still
them.
got to you got to
gotta
inform
inform
the rest.
them.
You'll be
That's
paying
right.
all of that.
He has to go and inform him.
Yes.
They ain't fair, man.
No,
No, you got to
that's
inform
the law.
them.
That's the law.
That is the law. That is the law.
You can't change the law, but
Yeah,
please
yeah,
have
yes.
the portion,
Call you near. Hello?
Hello?
Yes? You're near. Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't understand this thing,
We can't understand. You're too smart to understand. You're too young to understand.
No, listen more.
You're listening more.
You can't understand this thing.
This thing, yes.
Oh my God.
Well, what he needs to understand that we are defending his
Call
future.
you're here. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. He was trying to stop the craziness with his nonsense. I can cut the program. Please.
GT&T has closed
Good.
down an office in Brickdam. We
Yeah.
have to go run across to the other place.
Yes.
It's craziness, it's chaotic.
Yeah, it's very chaotic now.
The services that they're giving to Guyanese is rotten.
Okay.
The same American company, that doesn't happen in the United States of America.
Call it your name.
They would not tolerate it.
Hi,
Carl.
good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling to find out something.
What? What is it
About
coming from?
Guyber, my bill went to,
Okay.
sorry,
Yes.
$85,000.
Yes.
Right, and I pay every month. But then sort of how is the bill when come like every other month I'm supposed to go in and pay now? If I have $15,000 for them, why they didn't bill me from since then? Why they wait to bill me
That's true.
$5,000?
Yes.
Okay, we can...
How much you pay over 3 months ago? How much money you used to pay 3 months ago? 3 months ago. How much money you used to pay?
With this water?
Yeah.
No, I just pay like every other month, $3,000, $3,500, and
How much you pay now? How much you-
$3,000.
3,000. That's the same thing.
So what's the problem?
What's the problem really?
The problem is I get a bill for $85,000 and
right.
them to send it like every other month to me. So I want to know why the wait for it reached still to $85,000. Why they didn't bill me from ever since?
Okay, we can sort it out.
I ain't got
Call
the
us
same
after
problem.
the
I
program.
ain't got the same problem. Yes. Carl, thank you very much.
Call us after the program
Yeah.
and we can sort it out.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You see, we are not putting, Mr. Sharma, I know people are impatient. I sometimes get very angry with when you call up an office to talk to them
Customer
about
service
people's-
representative.
People's problem, and that's why Mr. Granger, see, people don't appreciate what he's trying to do. I think one of the problems he has is that he doesn't have good PR people to actually explain, because he alone can't do that.
Yes,
Look,
right.
Mr. Granger has to recognize the rottenness in the public service, the kind of people that the PPP put
Yes,
in,
yes.
PPP hacks.
Yes.
They are totally
Yes,
incompetent.
yes,
and
yes.
have got no
Impotent,
balance,
they're impotent.
no-
They're
Yeah.
sabotaging the system from
Yes,
within.
yes.
That's
Hello?
what they're doing.
And that is why Mr. Granger
Making
set
this
up
government look
a
bad.
Public service college.
Well, next half an hour from now. Next
There
10
are
minutes.
too many incompetent people. Let me
Yes,
give you an
yes,
instance.
yes.
A person,
Gotta come already. Yes,
person
bye.
sold a piece of land to another person, right? On the page 2, the guy signed on both sides. Page 1, they only have the name of the person who sold the land. They don't have the other person. This thing passed the court, they give it a stamp, it passed City Hall, it's the GRA spotted it. So it means that something is wrong here.
They sent me a letter, right? Which went all over the world, then get to me 3 months after.
Yes.
When I gave them, I applied for somebody for a certificate, got my correct address on the forms, and they sent back that form so when they opened it, but they didn't have the correct address.
Call you. Call you in here. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
I heard the finance minister speak about 2% growth that we have and we achieved. I think it's much more than that. It's probably about 30%.
Okay.
With all those bushes in the bare ground. I was there to visit the folk. I had to get a chainsaw, a Hymac, and a D4 bulldozer to get in there.
Yeah, people are complaining.
So he is wrong when he speaks about growth. It's about 30% growth.
That is the growth,
bushes
not economic growth.
taking over the city
Bush
back.
growth.
I mean, they start off high and right.
I think that, junior minister going to come on the
and now
broadcast
they're falling down. What is going on?
Okay.
The City Hall, we have to direct it at City Hall.
And I have another suggestion. I think
what is your suggestion?
Including the president, donate a month's salary to these these hurricane hit places.
What they should do?
I think other people would follow. Let the leader be a leader and lead.
Yes.
In front. Mr. Granger should donate a month, and all the rest of them in the ministry should donate a month.
Okay.
1 month salary.
1 month salary, they're getting too much of money.
Okay.
All the parliamentarians.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
What is your some of your advice on that? What is it called? Just said.
Well, he's talking about the no, I think he's been sarcastic when he said. About
Yes, I know that. I understand. I do understand that. You know, call you in here. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
I applied for a telephone service from GTNT over a month ago. Then tell me I'm going to get it in 6 weeks. 2 weeks. Up to now I can't receive it yet.
What do you respond on that?
A mountain of complaints.
Well, they said they lied to the public and say that they have 19,000 people who made applications.
Yeah.
When they were questioned, they said their own figure was wrong. So when the commissioners asked them, I was there, they said, so what is the real figure? The real figure of outstanding application is 16,000.
Yes.
Of the, I didn't walk in my notes. I should have done that.
Yes.
Of the
Should always work with the book, man. Yes.
I forgot it.
Yeah.
Of the 16,000.
It's an important issue.
Of the 16,000, the commissioners said to them,
yes.
Look, how much people you will give landline telephones for per month?
Yes.
They now say that they reduce it to 250.
Yeah.
So the commissioners are going to hold them to that in the different areas.
Who would hold them for that?
The commission, the public utility.
You sure you can do that?
Yes, they will do that.
Oh.
All right.
How they do that?
Yeah, what's the method
Because
of
they
enforcement?
Call, you're near.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon, yes.
Yeah. While you gentlemen sitting there and talking all over, people calling in and what's not, these minibuses on the road, they are exploiting people. One of these days, somebody's going to kill one of them for $20.
No, we can't say that.
But there needs to be law and order on the roads. Minibuses, I already said they should have bus stops.
Yes.
They stop in the middle of the road sometimes. They do all sorts of things. Go through red light.
Call you in here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Just let me turn it down a little bit. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hello? Turn it down. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm very interested in the subjects that we are talking about, but for some reason, after we discuss all of these things, very little is done to correct them.
Yes.
I'm hoping that, and Mr. Sharma, you have a special ability to mobilize the facilities that help ordinary people.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Ordinary people can speak to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Most people that have problems don't get to speak to the supervisors and the people in charge.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it is by virtue of your intercession that many of them have to become answerable because they don't really feel
that they need to give any satisfaction to your ordinary person who works for a living and has to get their money and make things work. And I'm hoping that you will have some kind of facility there someday where
I do hope so.
The parties in the government who have to answer these questions, they can come and make straightforward answers to the customer.
I do hope so.
Mr. Rahman already suggested some solutions.
What is some of your solution?
Perfect harmony. Speak to Mr. Joseph.
Look, we have sorted out this water thing, and I assure you that anybody who has a water problem, they must call you, you get hold of me, and I will get hold of Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph listens to this program, you know.
Yes. And then
he listens to it. He told me that yesterday, and I know he's listening to it.
Then concerning GT&T,
call out Tange, what do you like? What else you like this? What else you like to see?
I believe that you can set up a committee, just like how you have Mr. Sankey's and a couple of people, people that have the capability of addressing the real responsibility. Because just the discussions of it, we already know what the problems are, but somebody should be accountable.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you 100%.
And when serious...
100% I agree with you.
You know, that there should be some government officials that come there. You might have a little committee that people can join every so often to give answers.
They're not coming.
Be inviting them all the time.
I suggested a long time
they're not turning up.
Well, to a large extent, I think most people don't feel they're accountable. Most of the people who have to give these answers don't feel that they have an accountability.
That's right. I agree with you again.
And it is necessary for them to understand that they are paid by the government.
They're paid servant.
Yes,
they're paid servant.
To give you the answers
that's
they're asking.
They're paid servant.
This is not a special thrill that they're giving you because they like you. They are supposed to give you these answers because that is the job that they are actually paid to do.
All the ministers are paid servant. All ministers.
But I'm kind of suggesting to you if you could
thank you very much for your
open that gate so that some of those who are decent representatives would be able to come and make it a little bit more agreeable to your average working human being that doesn't have a big shot friend in somewhere in the government.
Minister Jaipal Sharma.
He will come in. He come in next 10 minutes.
Mr. Sharma does what he suggests. Mr. Sharma is Jaipal Sharma, I keep saying it over, he has set an example where anybody could call him, go to his office, and he will write a letter. Did you know that he wrote a letter for me to GT&T?
I hear him very much.
Did you know what they said?
He's not hearing me.
Yes.
He's not hearing?
Yeah.
You're not hearing me?
Yes, you know.
Yes, I'm hearing now.
No, yes.
We have an example of that. Mr. Jaipal Sharma, the minister, junior minister, is going to come here. He's going to come here just now.
Yes.
He receives complaints from people all over the place. And he directs them and ensures that the people who are supposed to have carried out whatever requests or problems somebody who went to him has caused. He writes a letter. In my case, I know he wrote a letter to GT&T. And they had a letter for several months before they replied. Could you imagine that? A minister write to you.
Yes.
And you took more than 3 months to reply to the minister? How does that relate to ordinary people? An ordinary person was to write. They probably don't reply at all, and that's what happens.
Caller, thank you very much.
And the thing about it is that Mr. Sharma seems to be the only medium that people can actually come and get real answers. Or at least to get to express their frustration and disappointment with the various services. And I believe that it is in your long-term interest to set up some kind of committee that government officials who want to answer some of these questions.
I will try to do that. I try my best to do that.
In that program.
I'll try my best to do that. Right, please. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I don't want to overspend my welcome, but I think that you have a very unique service that you provide, and given the right environment, it can be extremely useful to your average working person.
You calling from America, sir?
No. I am actually I'm a Guyanese Canadian. But I admire the efforts that Mr. Sharma makes to give voice to people who have no other place to express.
For the voiceless, for the voiceless.
You know, it is important that when people get a chance to express, the parties who are responsible for those answers should be made to come and give some type of answer, because it's legitimate questions from legitimate, you know, people who work for a living. And this is a unique place. They could say what they want to say. It doesn't necessarily have to have some political...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day.
We
Thank
should
you.
get somebody from GT&T to come in and answer.
Rahman, this is the Poor People Parliament. Poor People Parliament.
The PPP.
The
real PPP.
The real PPP.
Yeah.
Poor People's
Parliament, yes. And the voiceless people, for the voiceless.
But you allow the PPP to come here every Thursday.
Yeah, give them, must give them a program, must give them a program, yes.
Why?
I will.
Why? People just call in on their program, they just don't allow people to put...
No, we gotta give the opposition.
No, people are saying that you're hedging your bets.
No.
Meaning that you, in case PP get back in power...
Oh, no, that's not true. That's a question.
People say you're being Dutch acts.
No, I'm not Dutch acts.
Just tell you what the people say, you know.
He's being fair-minded. He's being democratic.
All right, cool.
He's giving everybody a chance.
Call in here. Hello?
Shows a big heart.
Who call in here? Please.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
And to your panel,
yes.
My name's Sheikh Leon.
Yes.
Yes, Brad.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Sharma, I got two issues here right now.
Yes. Give me one owner. You can't take more than one.
So I'm going to give you both. I need both to be heard.
All right.
The Court of Appeal. Since last year, I got a complaint against, I see the right article yesterday in the papers. They now don't have a panel to deal with these lawyers when they do illegal transaction and all kinds of
Man, come to me. With the voice of voiceless.
What else?
Now, we deal with the law, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
There are places you gotta go.
Yes.
The chancellor nobody can see the chancellor.
Yes.
That is what I was told by the secretary.
Why everybody can't see chancellor? Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Who the chancellor?
The chancellor, Mr.
Acting
Edwards,
chancellor, yes.
comments.
Acting chancellor.
Comments, yes. Now, what's the point you're trying to make?
Now, what I'm saying, these places are there to assist the ordinary citizen. And if you go there since last year, you got to complain.
That's right. The man is right what he's saying.
October will make 1 year.
Yes.
And you can't get a result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, the NIS is a fraud.
Yes.
NIS.
I get all my things and took it to them there. I sit at a tribunal. Go back to them up to Wednesday gone and they're still pushing me
Under which government is a fraud? Under which government?
And right now we know we're talking about, buddy.
Okay.
We tell you about no government.
Okay.
I don't know what with this government thing, man.
Yes.
You're talking what period he meant.
Yes.
I deal with the reality of what we live in.
Okay.
Well, if
I just call tomorrow, let me let you know.
Okay.
You got to say,
Thank you very much.
what's the next
No,
point?
listen, you gotta hear me out.
Okay.
Now, I've been pushed so long since 2013.
Yes.
Forget me, NIS.
Yes.
I gotta get all the rest. Even though there is cards tell you about the thing named verification. They can't get it. I go and get it and tell it and give them.
Yeah.
And they're still, I can't get any money up to now, since 2012 to now.
Carla, please come into me, please.
NIS?
Yes, I see another man like that. They're telling you about records, and they never got records. You get in all the records and try and get them, and then it's a problem still.
Carla, could you please come into me? And then Monday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
All right,
Please come into me.
And bring documents.
Bring the documents.
All my documents.
Yeah, bring it, right?
I got everything again. I have everything but they couldn't get. I don't get.
Thank you very much.
I served the Guyana Defense Force for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then got no contribution from me, all them lawless.
Carla, please come into me. We can't discuss all this matter right now, right?
All right.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Now, there are a lot of people got issues in this country. A lot of issues in this country. That's the reason they pay justice for all. We need justice in this country. Call in here, please.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon to the panel.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
With all due respect to you.
Yes.
I respect Mr. Rahman personally. I respect all of you guys here.
Yeah.
I'll be brief.
Yes.
I'm a security guard.
Yes.
And Mr. Scott has expressed himself delightfully to assist the underprivileged who have been subjects of much blatant and flagrant violation of their entitlements as security guards. And I have been made to observe that he is being attacked from 5 different corners.
Yes.
Attacked by individuals of a society that is very powerful.
You got to be a good martial arts man.
Yes.
Okay, sir?
Yes.
I have great respect for you and the work that you are doing.
Yes, yes.
You have not been rewarded fairly.
That's right. I agree with you.
I'm very upset about that.
Yes.
I trust that the good Lord would bless you
Yes.
to continue and give you the strength.
Yes.
And even though I am not in agreement with you allowing the PPP, who has done so much of despicable things to you, to come on your station, it goes to show the kind of heart you possess.
The heart.
Heart of a lion.
I know the good Lord would bless you for this, to show them that you are not the person who bear malice against the wickedness that they have done to you. This PPP government that you people are speaking about have done the most despicable things to the people of Guyana, worse than Mr. Lyndon Fox Thompson Bonham, and yet Mr. Jagdeo is walking the road free and nobody is saying much with all the wickedness we do. This is what we should be talking about. This program is justice for the people. This is the only way you could come and express your opinion and get positive advice to go to the next level. And as it relates to GT&T, I have written a document on GT&T for the last 16 months I returned to this country. And they have treated me like if I'm an alien.
Okay.
They continue to disrespect the people of Guyana without anybody calling them to order. I would write the president a letter, and I would write Mr. Justin a letter, who is trying to do a good job, but he's been undermined from below.
By who?
By who?
By who? By who?
Mr. Sharma.
Who's the man?
I listened to Rastaman making a statement a few minutes ago, and nobody asked him by you. Mr. Sharma, you have instructed me that you don't call names on the television.
Yes.
I do not want this table to be the TV station to be a subject of any libel.
Yes.
By people
I would
inside
not
or
proceed to
outside?
call names. You are fully well aware. You are highly intelligent. You are well informed. And you have men that surround you, like Mr. Rahman, who have a gifted faculty in expressing himself.
Yes.
You have Rastaman, who bringing it down from the rootsman level.
Yes.
And you have Mr. Frankie.
Yes.
Even though he don't always
Yes.
his opinion directly, he's very, very intelligent.
That's right. Very, very.
I know him personally.
Yes. The professor's route.
I do not want you to come to the impression that I am trying to be naive. I'm trying to be very practical in this respect. I would like to see all the people that made Guyana what it is today be rewarded, who have made sacrifice over the years. And the people who have tried to bring it below the surface of the level of the earth shall be dealt with. I would like to see the injustice and the wrongs that have been done in the last 23 years be corrected and the individuals made to come to book.
There'll be karmic retribution.
A lot of people are saying that thing. I know that there has to be due diligence. There has to be investigation. They have to go to the courts. These people must go before the courts. And one more thing before I go. I am not in appreciation with the leader of the opposition saying to the people of this nation and television that the Commission of Inquiry into Ancestral Lands cause problems and division. I am very disturbed with him for that. Because what he is doing, he is poking the flames of fire and seeking to keep this country divided continuously.
Yes.
And nobody is bringing the book. But what you might not observe is that Mr. Granger and all the wisdom and his intelligence is leaving him alone to fall into a hole that he's digging for himself. He would pay a price because the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will finally reach with him one day. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. May the good Lord bless and keep you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well spoken.
And give you the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding to continue in the vein that you're working on. And all the people that are around you, especially Mr. Frankie and Mr. Rastaman and Mr. Rahman. I thank you all and may the good Lord bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Amen. Hurrah.
Rastaman, would you like to get some response? Let me get some response from you.
Well, what he's saying right now, he's expressing the sentiments of a lot of people out on the street. Right? Here, we caught between a rock and a hard place. Here's the situation. most of the people love this government for what it has done in terms of bringing a semblance of change to the environment. But at the same time, they're feeling impotent because they feel that enough has not been done.
Is it being impotent again?
Because here what? In other words, here what's happening. Here what's happening right now.
A lot of people are impotent.
Yeah.
You're impotent, ain't company, you're
Here what we need to do.
Yes.
First of all, President Granger needs to call a press conference. He needs to talk to the people directly, not this little something he's got engineered or stage managed. President Granger needs to be approached by the general media and be asked searching questions right now. Yes. He needs to answer. He needs to give us a half-term report right now. So President Granger, saddle up, because you got to be called in and be questioned because you're our servant. You said you are a servant leader, and now is the time to ante up and take the service to the next level. Now, next thing is
gotta make it good.
The people on the ground. The people who are really suffering right now need some relief and redress. The government has got to, Mr. Jordan, has got to do something about the fact that there's so much money in the system, but it's not being disbursed and it's not trickling down. Sabotage. Internal sabotage. Look, let's here. Only 8% of NDC subventions spent for the year. Look, here we're saying. According to the Ministry of Finance, the Public Sector Investment Program, PSIP, which is financed by both local and foreign funding sources, expended $15.8 billion.
Who's that article from me?
Hold on. During the first half of 2017, reflecting a 19.8% increase over the first half of 2016. Finance Ministry officials said, however, that this represents only 27.9% of the PSIP's budgeted allocation of $56.8 billion. What they're saying, there's money given to us to do things, but things ain't being done, and because of that, the money is flowing through the system and reaching downstairs. Internal sabotage is happening, and we got to ferret out the saboteurs and the agent provocateurs, because if we don't do that, this government will continue to look bad and don't deliver on the promises made.
I would ask President Gage, President of this country, please come to the program once a month.
No, we're going to interview him.
No.
We need to interview. What Leon said is right. Listen to me. The president does not have to be afraid
of
anybody.
That's right.
Because he has not, since he became president, he has been saying the right things.
I said it. He's at this come once a month on this program.
Once a month. So he doesn't have to be afraid. He must have open press conferences.
Right.
And face the nation.
Sangi, you agree with me?
Yes.
You agree?
This kind of stage.
But here's the other thing.
Where you got, what's called public interest? It's absolute nonsense.
Stage managed. Here the other thing.
Call in here. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I was trying to get on to you guys,
Please speak a lot louder. I can't hear you. I can't hear properly what you're saying.
Okay, I was trying to get on to you.
Put your mic close to your mouth. Close to your mouth.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay. I was trying to get on to you guys, or on the show.
Yes.
Well, there's some callers calling and complaining about the government, what they're not doing, and these things here. But what Guyanese need to understand is that president is only human. Right? There's certain things that he could do, and there's certain things that he cannot do. Well, if they're saying that he has to fix certain things, and so on, right?
Yes.
So some of these things that the president has to fix is some of the damages that the PPP government did to this country, right? And if they expect the president to fix all of the previous government,
they can't do that. No, they can't do that.
Pardon me?
Yeah, no, they can't do that.
You're right.
You're right.
Yeah. And if they expect the current government to fix the previous government faults and everything that they did, how do they expect the president to carry out his plan for this country? It doesn't matter what you do in this country, they will always complain. So what I would advise these Guyanese people to do is just sit and relax and allow this man to do his job. If you guys continue complaining about things, it's like if you don't know what to do to satisfy you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What we need right now is a transformational project in this country. A big, grand project, development project that can make everybody rally around the cause.
Leon,
What?
listen, you're making some interesting points, but listen, we who got this government in office.
Who we?
No, those of us here.
Okay.
We have got to do more to educate the ordinary people about the program and policies of this government. Let me give you an example. The rice farmers in this country.
Nice.
Who are the producers of wealth.
Right.
They have increased their size production. But they're not being, the government's policy on paper is not being implemented.
That's right.
Because the people who are exploiting the rice farmers are the millers who continue to do so under the PPP.
Okay.
They did under this. Look at this. You will remember this. These people are charged, 6 of them.
Who was that?
Turn it to the camera.
They're charged
But
for
this would probably go.
issues to do.
Former chief, 2 PPP parliamentarians among 6
Yeah,
charged.
it might go on to 2030.
No, they've been charged and they've been put up before the court.
Yeah.
This is what.
But the court matters might drag on.
What?
Okay.
It might drag on for years.
Yeah.
No, but
Just like a Westford story, it's been dragging on for years.
No, but the issue is, Mr. Sankis, let's be honest. People are impatient, but we need to explain to them and use these.
The calls are impatient right now because they're not getting calls. Yes.
The reasons
yes,
why
yes.
things are happening.
Yes.
When the government tries to remove key people who are sabotaging the program, Jagdeo Shouty and these other people shout racism, discrimination, and political and racial discrimination. Ethnic cleansing, they have even gone so far to talk about ethnic cleansing.
Okay.
One of the former ministers said that.
Let me take some call. Caller, you're in here. Hello?
We have to be cautious.
Caller, you're in here.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your panel, Mr.
Yeah.
Sankey, my friend Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Rahman, how you doing?
Yes.
Good, okay. Listen, I don't think it's so much moves of PPP, you know. I think it's what are priorities. And Michael Manley once said, after he lost the election to Seattle, said 2 things I will not do. I will not underestimate the Jamaican people to rise up to the challenge, nor would I make enemies with America.
Okay.
I don't think the government truly understand the potential and is willing to give a break to Guyanese man. I once said to Prime Minister Sam Hines, listen, anytime you give them a break, you don't have to look back. But if you're stymied and you think in the box, you have a problem.
Okay.
You need each member of the government, at the echelons of the government, went to tertiary institution. How in Christ's name are you going to develop in the 21st century without a development bank?
Yes, of course.
You cannot. Mr. Jordan has his own talent. I have mine. Yes. Mr. Haraman is a man from the country. We work with our hands. Yes. I work every house from Crabwood Creek to Amsterdam, all over Georgetown, Linden, selling handicraft.
Yes.
When the pressure came for foreign exchange, I put furniture components in a suitcase and tried to Trinidad, mounted up, and I sold it. When that finished, I went to Brazil and bring furniture components, components sell to Trinidad.
Yes.
I got in the scrap metal business as a procurement guy.
Yes.
I raised money. I went to Northwest. All kind of foolishness coming. I lose about $2 million in procurement.
Okay.
Now the thing is open. I think Sarah should investigate some of these people who are managing there. Okay. The point is that you have to have an institution that has requisite funds.
Yes.
Don't underestimate the man.
Yes.
The man coming from quarantine, bringing goods to sell in Georgetown every weekend. The man coming from Polder. Every black village that has black people in them were bought by black people. You don't need to teach a man entrepreneur. He's intelligent. Magic Johnson is almost a billionaire. Tyler Perry for Whitney. You know why? Because there's opportunities. You can't have a people who want to breastfeed you, bring it on a platter. I don't want Mr. Jordan to be giving me on a platter. I want him to give me the opportunity. You don't have a bank. That's one. Two, if I have bilateral arrangement with 100 and something countries, one of the great things that happen in the world today is retirees that are willing to give service almost free of charge.
Yes.
One of the great phenomena of service in the world.
Okay.
You have not a structured program. The priority is wrong. And you know why? Because power has gotten to the hands. I've seen this. I'm 72 years old. I live on all the presidents, and I see a rebirth of arrogance, apathy is coming back in the system. It's not mold so much ras. It's someone that the very people who vote for this government feel it is their time to sit down and do nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's a good point. You
Make a very, very valid point.
I told you about that.
Yeah.
We who supported this government, a lot of people, they got a little job and they sit down and they think, let me enjoy
Jackpot time.
Yes. And that cannot happen, Mr. Sharma.
That's why we got to do it.
Because the licks that you got.
Meritocracy.
Yeah. I get more licks than anybody. This whole country.
So bring about the level of justice for ordinary people.
Yes.
They're not seeing that result.
So here, there's no room.
I get licks on the big Christ.
So there's no real room for a real third party or real third force to emerge, because both APNU AFC and PPC have been doing so much nonsense that they've now left an open pathway for a real
I get licks on the big Christ.
Yes, you listen to
Yeah.
me one second.
Yes.
You have never gone on your own to test your validity
Yes.
as a party.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
Yes.
Because there are thousands of people who are listening to this
That's
program
right.
here
and abroad.
Yes.
Who have relatives here
Yes.
who are feeling the pinch.
Yes.
And they don't have the kind of representation. We have proven beyond the shadow of doubt that Jaipal Sharma is the only minister. Only minister.
He's the best
I
minister.
got him last Sunday to visit a farm at Stanley Town.
Yes.
And the only reason why he could not go in there because the dam was bad. The rain fell at that same time when he arrived there.
Damn.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something, he made that sacrifice to leave his home to come on that
And the
Sunday
comfort of his home.
to speak to ordinary farmers who are trying to change the condition of this country. You know where he was going? He was going to see Mr. Jacobs' farm. Mark Jacobs. Who, a young man, who's, people say that people are not interested in the farm. That's nonsense.
Yes.
If they're given the opportunity, as the last speaker said, set up the agricultural and industrial bank, which the Minister of Finance is an obstacle because he is carrying out international monetary and World Bank policies.
Neoliberal policies that have failed us.
Not the policies that we want to see that is in our manifesto.
So he's a lackey for international
he and,
corporate interests.
And hold up.
Right.
Are holding up the development of this country.
So that his name is Holder.
I challenge them, both Winston
Holder, Winston
Jordan and Holder. I challenge them publicly to deny what I say.
Well, we got to cross Jordan River.
I challenge them. And unless, look, they are making the president look like a fool.
So
because the president agrees with the manifesto, the APNU AFC manifesto. Right? He wants to see it implemented. Look, listen.
Some of the people.
President last speech in Parliament, go back to it, you're a journalist. You will hear him say that he wanted the stabilization fund in the rice industry to be established. He said it in his speech. What did Holder do?
Not Holder, Jordan.
When I was on the board, they kicked me, Nagamutu and his friends kicked me off the rice board.
Why they kick you out?
Why you don't like Nagamutu?
No, it's not a matter of not liking. I am saying you have a bunch of incompetent people there.
Impotent.
Impotent, yes.
Okay, yes.
They are just rice eaters. They don't plant rice.
They eat rice. No, what you say, right?
They don't plant rice.
Yeah, I know that.
The three people who, and I told Mr. Harman, Mr. Harman is responsible for this too, you know.
In what way?
Because he sat there and signed the paper, and he didn't see that my name was removed. Mr. Harman didn't see that Rahman's name was removed.
So he was in collusion to get rid of you.
He was in collusion.
Listen.
And he has to answer to. He has to answer that too.
Some of the people,
elections are coming next year.
Not next year,
the
2020.
local government elections. That is going to be a test to this.
Rahman.
Don't sit there and think that people can't do them nothing.
Rahman, there's somebody people said to me, said to me. Said to me. You know what I say? You know what I say?
Mr. Sharma, I can travel any part of this country, right?
Yeah.
and people are complaining that they are not getting
satisfied
services that are required, that they voted for. Forget those who didn't vote for us. But this is a government of all the people.
So they're going to wait until 6 months before election time, and then they're going to get real active again and try for soiree. So what they should be doing now is already be in the campaign mode by delivering the goods to the people.
Well, Mr. Harman, to his credit, right? To his credit, you raised a report.
Okay.
Mr. Sharma, well, just one thing.
Yeah, and I said to me, that's the whole damn thing.
Mr. Sharma.
Yeah.
Mr.
Harman made a speech at Barnwell, West East Bank, recently, and he lambasted the
NDC?
the RDC. Because he said that you cannot have social cohesion if the RDC and the not making the NDCs work.
Okay. Oh, you have to allow the bad people to speak. Thank you for you like this, I give you a chance now.
No, we're speaking here of
management,
and there need to be a cabinet reshuffle.
Reshuffle.
There's some ministers are performing and others who are not performing.
Not reshuffling. That's
No,
like magic.
Well, some will be out. Some will have to go. But that's it.
Not redeploying anybody.
No. And I think we've got competent people here. He could make a good minister of agriculture, Mr.
And the issue is not about individuals, it's about doing the work.
No, who can do the work? We've got people who can do the work.
Cardian here, hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to bring you all back to the oil. Nobody's talking about oil.
We can't talk everything at the same time.
We didn't get it yet.
No, said that there was no non-disclosure clause in the oil business.
Okay.
And this government was telling us that there's some clause with that we are signing all kind of things. Mr. Rama, Mr. Gaskin told us that there was no clause. Now today you're hearing, they ain't got no non-disclosure clause. This government could release the contract. Why are they not doing it?
That's right.
These are the things we got to find out. These things, they can't be defending this government like that. You don't want to sound like the other one. It's close to bloody contract. Let me see what's going on. Okay, man.
Thank you very much.
So they've already been compromised by going on that free trip.
Yeah, they went on a free trip, they were paid. That is the most ridiculous
But
thing.
then 2 or 3 days later, the boss man from Exxon come together.
That's right, yes.
I can't understand it. And even if they go to a free trip, why did they make it a more balanced entourage?
Why the six parties going involved? Why the all six parties get involved?
Why no
six
opposition
parties
go? Why
six
no
parties?
civil society
No.
rep
Hold
go?
on, shut them out. Hold on. 6 parties where we got the coalition. Why the all the parties going to work together?
You only have one party here functioning.
Yeah.
Which is the PNC. The rest of them are a baby party.
Yeah. Why baby party?
And your party.
Yeah.
Because this is a party, it's a big party.
That's it. We can say.
Which other party hires a program?
Since we got coalition.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we only got 2 parties.
Yeah.
Justice for All party and the PNC party.
Yeah.
The rest of them are baby party. Look, I bet you on this program now, those who are listening.
Yes.
Let the AFC go to the next local government election next year and contest it individually.
Yes.
They have nothing
and you
to
will
win.
see the result.
That's right.
You will see the result.
That's right.
That is a test.
That's a test. Let all the relative parties to the APNU go there.
Let the WPN go.
Yeah, everybody go.
Let them go as individuals.
That's right.
Then we will see whether they really have support. Because people are voting with their what?
Emotions.
Their feet.
With their conscience.
No, a lot of them are voting with their feet.
Yeah.
Because what we have is that we have a coalition deception. That's basically what.
Guardian here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm unimpressed with this government. I voted for these people, and what the call is saying is absolutely right. People need to stop defending this government. They are not looking in the interest of our people. They're lying to people as well. Mr. Grenter lied from inception. We have to be fair. I know Mr. Arman personally. He's a liar. I am telling you, these people are not taking the interest of God.
He's a liar, no.
He's a liar.
He's a liar.
With no allowance. It's unfair.
He's a lawyer.
He's a liar.
Enjoy happy big lunches. These people need to do something. sending public servants in region one where the cost of goods is 3 times, 300% the price in Georgetown higher, and you are sending them with no allowance. People come here and try to work for this country. They're not. I am a public servant. I am retired. I work here at Gaisuko for years, and I could tell you that the best time was this one now. This is sheer nonsense. I voted for the people who are not going to do it again. They're not looking after the interests of Guyanese people. They're living the big high life, and they're not coming down here and try to address the poor people. What about the pensioners? What about everybody else? They're living big, big life. Y'all must be fair, and let's stand up and speak again. Say, don't go back what happened with PPP government and Jagyo. We look into the future. And then we stop it. But going back to Jagyo, what Jagyo do? You already messed up the place. You have to try and stop people have a neck. Anytime they go individually and vote, there will be nowhere. You take my advice, what I'm saying. Go individually. You, Mr. Sharma, vote for you. This next trip, go individually and double pay everybody go and you're going to see the difference. Thank you very much.
You make a very, very valid point. Very valid point.
Is absolutely right.
Right, yes.
When I analyze the situation and you see how
they can't say the exact.
They're not listening to
they can't say exact what you say.
They're not listening to the people.
Yes.
How is it that they become so arrogant?
Yes.
Give me
because they didn't have the people's interest in their heart in the beginning. They were deceptive. They fooled us. They said they were going to be servant leaders, and instead they are very vampirish right now.
No, I don't have no.
Yeah, they're sucking the blood of the innocent.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I am very impressed by the amount of people that are making this representation.
Yes.
The thing is, we need to do something about it.
What do you think we can do?
Well, the thing is, there is an option, as I mentioned to you before.
Yes.
Where you can have a committee of opportunity where government can represent what has been discussed and misrepresented. It can happen right on your show.
Yes.
There is no cost to it. Anybody that has good intentions can come.
I don't have any problem. At all.
And they can be willing to give answers to what people are complaining about. This woman that called just now.
Yeah, that's right.
She's a little bit too extreme.
Yeah,
I mean, the point is, we still have an opportunity to get the government officials who are related to the dissatisfaction that exists in the life of the small man. He's supposed to give you answers. That's what his job is. And he's not doing you any favor. The thing about it is that you should bring them so that people could see them there answering face to face. So that people can say, well, I discussed this with you, and you're still taking me for a ride around the block. You know, and I think that you have an opportunity there to create a small part of your show, a 15-minute show, that will allow people to have legitimate questions, answers from people who are responsible for the answer. Thank you very much.
Now we think we're going to do that. We're going to start doing that now, right?
We call the section Ask the Minister. Call a section of your program called Ask the Minister and have different ministers come to answer the question.
But they're not coming.
You invited them specifically?
What am I inviting them?
We need to write to them. We need to write to them. And you're going to show the letter that you write to them, inviting them to come.
They're going to wait till 6 months before the next election for Star Rush here.
It's an important point. Justice for all. Let justice for all prevail. If they refuse to come to the program, as Paul Sharma is coming, it shows they have no interest in answering the people. It is a question of accountability.
Is he still coming today?
No, I don't think he's coming. It's too late.
Because it's 2 o'clock on,
If you don't have... Look, this is Integrity Commission, where you can make ministers accountable.
Hold on. We're going to go 3 minutes more. Jeffrey Sankis could make notes, and that's what we've seen. And the program now? Make notes. Make notes. Make notes. You're going to go 3 minutes more to go. Call you in here. Hello? I don't know when Jai come in the program or not. I don't know if he coming or not. Call you in here. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
You know what you're saying, right? We know the government is not perfect also, right? But we cannot give the government a chance to see what the government can do. When people say now vote for the APG or whatsoever, they will vote for the PPP. what Jack Dio do, if they have vote for the AP, you have voted for the PPP then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the difference. Give the man a chance. It's just 2 years now. Give the man a chance.
I say that all the time. All the time I say that.
To term, I think the man will do perfectly well.
Yes.
More than what the PPP do over 23 years.
23 years, that's right.
So I think personally should get a chance.
Yes.
You understand? Because everything is that easy, just might be that we understand. It's a walk over, you just get this, then you can do this, you can do this. Give the man a little time, and we know things going to be better. So when people say that they'll vote back for AP, you are the AFC, whoever votes for your vote for Jack Dio.
No, a third party, a third force.
Over 23 years and being believed, the man said that he died so fast over for the television.
Yeah.
I think I just said it.
Thank you very much. Got it. Got it.
He made a good point. We have to be objective and not extreme in bringing one group in another. What needs to happen is there need to be structural changes. I mean, I think
Japan, it seems like Japan have done up the problem. Now is what o'clock was what do. Now it's 2 o'clock already.
I want to use my last time to say.
They can't take too long.
No.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute.
Yes.
What Mr. Granger is doing, the message and the way in which he is trying to make structural changes in our society, that message is not getting through.
Why?
Because they do not have a proper PR system that actually explains these things.
Yeah.
Mr. Granger has to take it upon himself to have regular press conferences beyond the set so that he himself can explain this.
Finally, what would you like to see?
I'd like to say that Ontario in Canada, that's a province in Canada, unveiled plans to sell recreational marijuana through government-run stores and online, choosing a monopoly model to also stamp out of proliferation of illegal stores on the broader black market. Now, Canada's most populous province is the first to respond to the federal government's move to legalize use by mid-2018, saying that it will create a cannabis control board to manage all aspects of the retail trade. The province plans to open 40 stores by July 1st next year, growing to 80 in 2019 and 150 by the end of 2020, and to control all legal online sales via a government-run website.
Finally, what would you like to see?
Yes, I think we've got to help. You have to have humanitarian help for those Caribbean countries that suffered, especially with this hurricane. St. Martin, Barbuda, and the others. And also, it's an opportunity. Yaks were destroyed in St. Martin. We have a safe haven here for yaks. I think maybe Kit Nascimento could work with the Ghana National Shipping Corporation.
Kit Nascimento?
No, he's in the yak business. He's when I say yak, no, say.
All right.
Why him?
Well, the government can do something.
Good.
But what I'm saying is that the Ghana National Shipping Corporation, we can have yaks coming here and
Cut, you know on that.
Okay, short and sweet.
The Minister of Tourism.
Make your comment.
I think that finally we need to say that people need to have a little bit more patience, and they need to recognize that this government has made a number of important changes that would not have come about in this country had it not been the president of this country.
Well, thank you for listening.
And
Rama, thank you.
Log on to weekendpostgy.com to get the latest news on Guyana.
Thank you for listening.
One love.
One love.
Unite.
Have a nice day. God bless you all.
It's tomorrow my birthday,
Happy birthday.
Your body?
Yeah, the 10th. He's the 10th.
You bring something to the body?
You can put up something?
Yes,